But the same thing happens with the games. I'm doing them, and let me see. I'm doing week 1, and I'm doing like the last set of games there, like 65, for example, game 4, and those seem to be more complex, and my brain starts. My gears stop working again because I think I have it nailed down. Oh, I have to do this and I have to do this, and it's like completely different. So I don't know if I should be approaching these games mechanically, or I don't know how to explain it. Try to do more inferences in my head.
Well, it comes back to that same idea. If you're frozen, what's your step-by-step process?
Okay.
Mechanical, yes and no. On the one hand, step-by-step can be mechanical, but you also have to have multiple step-by-step approaches in case one falls away, or if plan A doesn't work, you go to plan B. So I've laid that out in the course as well. So for each of the sections. But inference making up front is a great way to go about it. That's definitely one strategy I'd recommend.
Yeah, and so far the inferences that I'm making is like I take more time doing them, but they help me throughout the games. So that's awesome. I've been learning how to do that better. But then there are certain games when I get to question 2, which is not the I forgot the name of
the orientation, like you're beyond the orientation.
Yeah, those are fairly easy. But then I get to the second question, I'm like, okay, how do I diagram this? And then I end up with this mess. And I'm like,
I've seen worse. That's pretty good.
I lose my train of thought. I'm like, oh wait, should I be doing R/T or? And then I'm like, okay, I lost myself in this. They got me. So how do I go about, I don't know, making this like a simpler process where if I get lost in all the annotations that I'm doing, I can go back and say, oh, wait, this is what I was doing. Continue doing this. Don't get lost in writing everything down. I don't know how to explain it.
Oh, I see what you're saying. One thing is that, I mean, your notebook looked pretty good to me. But the issue is that if you find it messy and you find that it's lacking organization in terms of how you could understand it, then that requires having a more of a template approach to making your diagrams, meaning that you always lay things out the same way. So, for example, you could list the variables in the upper left. So the specific letters associated, list those in the upper left. Below those, list each individual rule. To the center right, you could put your main diagram there. You could list inferences below that as you make connections between the rules. And over time, you could see which parts of that you truly need, which parts you don't need. And you can consider rearranging. Then you could, below that, you could have the individual question diagrams when applicable. But consistency will create some order for you so that you're not feeling lost or scattered with it. Similarly, you can have rules for yourself in terms of every single time I encounter a new game, I read the initial paragraph, I decide what game type is this, broadly speaking, ordering, grouping, a combination, or something random outside the box. And then your different approaches in terms of your default way of setting those up. Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.